So is Scott Board fired from the Vinnie Vincent Invasion? Hold on. Before anything, this is Christian Duke. You're watching Sight Sounds Flavors on YouTube, sightsoundsflavors.com. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And at any point during this video, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. And of course, leave a comment down below because I live for the comments. So for Scott to have been fired from the Invasion, he would have had to have been hired by the Invasion. And we have not received confirmation from Vinnie or anyone from the Invasion's camp to suggest that. Now, a lot of people have been posting all around Facebook groups and Reddits, subreddits, message boards, talking about Scott Board as a new singer of the Vinnie Vincent Invasion, but that is just not the case. Now, of course, people want Vinnie to have a singer. They want to see one of the greatest, if not the greatest guitar virtuoso ever to go back on the road. I mean, you got Jimi Hendrix, you got Jeff Beck, who just recently passed away, God bless his soul, Eddie Van Halen, who passed away recent, sort of, Dimebag Darrell. But you still got people like Yngwie and Steve Vai, but can they hold a candle to Vinnie? No. So the reality of the matter is, I know that a lot of people want to see the Invasion out there on the road. And so I think that maybe when they saw Scott have some involvement with the legend Vinnie Vincent, they just assumed. And again, look, people, their heart is in the right place, you know? In my opinion, there is no substitute for Robert Fleischman. But, you know, Robert may not want to tour, or he may not want to record, or he may not want to tour and or record. And so the Invasion's had some pretty good singers, whether officially or unofficially. You know, Goran Edmond, for example. I mean, that was the original sort of singer, those demo tapes that, you know, actually, I don't even know if, honestly, I don't even know if Goran actually sang on, I think he did, but the classic original singer that we all know is Robert Fleischman. Scott Board is somebody that I think a lot of people wanted to see as a singer, but, you know, it doesn't look like he was a singer. Then there was that other singer that no one's ever heard of for that second record that a lot of people just would rather it never have come out. But, you know, that other singer is not in the picture. Goran, Scott, Robert, you know, any of these guys could have, you know, taken the Invasion out in 2023 to sold-out audiences with bands like Motley Crue or Def Leppard opening up. The reality of the matter is that Vinnie is still looking, and new material is on the way. He's in the studio. He's cutting new tracks. His skills are sharper than ever. And, you know, we just have got to give him a little bit of patience. The box set, DVDs, new merchandise, new T-shirts. It's all on the way from what I understand. I was there in Atlanta. Derek did a fantastic job. And I was there and I saw Robert Fleischman and Vinnie Vincent on stage. And maybe that was the last time that we'll ever see, you know, that incarnation rock the house. But I'll tell you, the women were going nuts. I mean, there were women legitimately that were asking for a hall pass from their husbands because they wanted to go backstage with Vinnie and Robert. You know, the men were going nuts too, in a different kind of way. But like, you had people, you know, that had, you know, settled to go see Kiss, you know, half a tribute band these days, you know, with Gene playing on a chair and Robert, not Robert, I'm so sorry, Robert, Paul, God, I'm so sorry to compare. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, Robert, to put you in the same category as Paul Stanley, but Paul singing to these backing tracks, you know, it really is depressing. I mean, we all know that Vinnie saved Kiss, you know, I mean, you know, The Elder, they were playing the Howard Johnsons, you know, the freaking Holiday Inns kind of, you know, audiences, and they were getting a lot of, you know, Mrs. Garrett types, you know, Gloria Stivic types backstage, you know what I mean? When Vinnie came in, you know, he penned some songs for Creatures. You guys know all the history. And then Lick It Up came out, and Kiss hadn't seen a platinum album since Ace Frehley. I mean, they were in bad shape. You know what I mean? They were in really bad shape. And then of course, Hot in the Shade. That's the kind of record that you play before you drive your car off a cliff. You know what I mean? And he came in and he helped them with Revenge. They struck gold, and then they milked that all the way to the reunion. They put out, you know, the tribute album, the Kiss My Blank, you know, Alive 3. I mean, they just milked the hell out of that whole revenge era because they were rocking again. And it was all because of Vinnie. I mean, we know this. We know this. Hindsight being 2020, we know this. So again, I really think that people had only the best of intentions when they saw Scott board and they thought maybe Vinnie had found a singer that was going to be able to carry the load. You know, Vinnie doesn't need a rhythm guitarist. He plays the rhythms, he plays the leads, he provides an enormous amount of stage presence. You know, all the singer really needs to do is sing. You know, and if he has stage presence, that's an added plus. So, you know, in reality, I feel like a lot of people maybe got a little carried away, but I think their heart was in the right spot. You know what I mean? The Invasion, in my opinion, is a band that should be considered for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame based on that first record. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say you can't get in the Hall of Fame based on one record, but Nirvana got in with 3. And Bleach was, you know, that was really, was it Bleach? Well, Bleach was the big one, right? And then In Utero was sort of big. But the first one they put out wasn't really big at all, actually. If you look at the numbers, it wasn't really big at all. So really, they got in with 2 records. I don't think that there's a record. Sex Pistols. Sex Pistols only put out 1 record. And there's a hell of a lot of people talking about them getting into the Hall of Fame. VVI put out 2 records. The second record with that other singer wasn't very good, but it's still 2 records. I mean, technically, it's still 2 records. I mean, it doesn't compare to the first record, you know, with, you know, No Substitute, Boys Are Gonna Rock, Do You Want to Make Love, you know, it doesn't compare, but it's still a second record. That's 1 more than the Pistols had. So, I mean, I think that, you know, they could be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but it would have to be the original lineup, classic regalia, classic outfits, classic makeup, you know, Vinnie, Robert, Bobby, and I guess Dana. I mean, you know, he's the bass player, you know, he's really not that talented, but we could, you know, as part of that class, you can't deny that Dana was part of the classic lineup. I mean, probably the least important member of the Invasion. None of the women went to the show for Dana. They were all there for Vinnie. You had a few for Robert and a couple for Bobby, you know, because Bobby was always into the health and all that, and he's playing with Lita Ford, and he's always had a good physique. I mean, he's never been, you know, the legendary musician that Vinnie is, but he's in the conversation. But Dana, you know, that's why he's got the Flying V bass, because he's hoping that people think that he's the lead guitarist. You know, people that are dumb enough to think that a bass is a guitar. But again, he's not after the rocket scientists. You know, bass players, keyboard players, tuba players, whatever. In a metal band, you know, slim pickings, you know what I mean? But the thing is, though, is he's part of that original lineup, whether he carried the bags or whatever he did, you know, co-produced. I don't know what he said he did. I know that he introduced Ozzy to Randy Rhoads, but beyond that, really, I mean, what else has he done? You know what I mean? When you look at Vinnie, though, here's a guy that gets mobbed. I mean, beautiful women everywhere. Guys want to talk to him, give him a high five, you know. And so he needs to make sure to get the right band. You know, he can't have the embarrassment of that second record happen again in 2023. He's been through too much. He's worked too hard. Again, I got nothing against that other singer. I've been begging you guys to leave that guy's name in the comments. I don't even know his name, and I feel so bad because, but again, I actually, let me be honest, I don't, because, you know, that guy can't hold a candle to Robert Fleischman. When Boys Are Gonna Rock came out, you know, and he was lip syncing. You know what I mean? People went, saw these guys live, and they're like, what is this trash? Where is the guy that gave us Boys Are Gonna Rock and Baby-O and Do You Want to Make Love and No Substitute? Where is that guy? So people, you know, I know of people that went to that second album shows and they left in tears. They felt defrauded. They went there wanting to hear that first. I know people that actually scaled the Berlin Wall. They cut up their chest on the barbed wire. They had those canines chasing after them, and they made it across. They made it across only to find out that the band had broken up. So again, I'm just saying, if that's not worthy of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I don't know what is. That's just how great the Invasion is. So while I really wish Scott could have been in the band, he's not. He was officially never in the Invasion. If he was, it would have changed his life. We would have heard of it everywhere. He would have done a press release probably. His friends and family would have come out, patted him on the back, hugged him. There would have been elation. There would have been champagne. I mean, this would have changed the man's life. Unfortunately, he was never in the Invasion from what it seems. And Vinnie continues to look for a singer, whether it's Robert, whether it's Edmund, whether it's somebody else. I mean, I highly doubt it would be that other singer because nobody even talks about him anymore. But the thing is, if you guys can tell me who that other singer was, I'd appreciate it in the comments. Whatever happened to him? Did he start another band? Did he work at Tower Records? Does he own a hot dog stand? Like, what did he do? Because I am kind of curious in a way. I mean, after feeling so miserably to follow up a top act like Robert Fleischman, I would hope that he did something with his life, whether he, sells shoes or juggles or beats on paint tubs in a subway or something. I don't know. Some of those guys can make pretty good money, but I hope he's doing well, whoever he is, as inconsequential as he is, that other singer. But the thing is that Vinnie, though, is just killing it. He's killing it, and I know that we're just so close. We're so close. Once he gets that singer to sing those classic hits from the first record and the second record, but done right. Have a professional singer sing those things, you know what I mean? We're going to be off to the races. And I insist that the Invasion should be inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Vinnie, Robert, Bobby, and I guess Dana too.